Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Welcome to the Moon Platoon, the Mo Money Show, and I am your host, Andrew, and we're going to explain exactly what happened today. Let me pull up a little chart here called Webull. Now, Webull gives you 2 free stocks for clicking the description link down below that says quit Robinhood and get Webull while you can. That's not the most important part. The most important part is that this allows us to have some technical indicators to actually provide us a little bit of context of why was there a $40 dip earlier in pre-market, right? We saw around, 6 a.m. Eastern, that during pre-market we had a dip on GameStop reaching a peak at 195, getting rejected by this level of resistance at 196, and then dropping down to 155, where luckily it was caught. Now, normally when these happen, you're like, is this a correction, right? Where this is meant to be? Is this the actual value of GameStop, or did something happen? And just a few hours later, you would have answered your question at 11:34, just 4.5 hours after the dip. You will have seen that GameStop returns and recontests 195. So yeah, as IV volatility has been dropping, we see this pretty strange action going on. I'm hopefully here to be able to explain what happened. So first things first, the only thing you need to do for this video is to like it and hit that subscribe and bell notification button so you don't miss out on live streams where I do this with you together. And that's the most important part of investing in yourself, starting on your journey to financial freedom and with a little bit of financial wisdom along with it. So I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to turn on this. News release. Company can sell up to 3.5 million shares and intends to use any proceeds to further accelerate transformation and strengthen balance sheet. Okay, this sounds okay, right? It sounds a little bit bearish because they do want the opportunity to sell up to 3.5 million shares. And this is where people might have been scared. They're thinking, okay, the company wants to cash in on the whatever's happening with GameStop. They want to be able to sell 3.5 million shares because, once again, they are a company that's being publicly traded and they don't get much of the money that you are trading to someone else, right? They essentially, it's not an NFT. They don't get to have They don't get to have a piece of the trade each time it trades hands. So right now, there are millions of shares currently in the float, and they just circulate around back and forth. However, GameStop wants to add 3.5 million shares to give themselves a little bit of the proceeds. So this is an important piece to understand. Why would they do this? Well, if they're expecting there to be a squeeze, as a reminder, there are us, right? We can call ourselves retail investors or apes, but this is the retail sector right here. So us, we have a certain number of the shares, right? Some of the reports that we've seen that we have over 100% of the available floats. So that is currently one of the DDs that have been floating around. We've done this calculation already, right? But we have somewhere on a high percentage of the amount of shares available. This is because a lot of these shares are shorted to us, and some of them recursive, some of them naked. So we do have a lot of the shares that currently exist to be possible to have. Now, when we have almost 100% of the float and the short squeeze begins, the steps that it takes is there's some sort of catalyst, either a margin call squeeze, a mixed squeeze here, right, or a gamma squeeze. So this is choose your fighter, this one or this one. Which one do you think is going to be more likely? Either way, this will get us to a short squeeze where we are looking, or the MOAS, the mother of all short squeezes, right? And this is going to be able to allow us to turn those tendies in. Now, when this happens, the price of the stock goes up because there's coerced buying. They need to buy it from this population of people. And they are saying, okay, we would like to be able to buy it from this population, and this is the only population of people, minus the institutions and insiders, that exist. So they will have to buy it from us, and then we get to control what the price is. However, if GME goes in and says we would like the right to sell 3.5 million shares, there is just now a brand new little circle, hypothetically, in people's brains, because this does not exist yet, right? Of another 3.5 million shares that could exist. And now, when the mother of all short squeezes happen, they could either take it from us, or if GME exercises, they could take it from them. That is why this was bearish news. However, GME is just wanting to take in that opportunity, because if the squeeze happens, they would like some of that money, right? It's not going to benefit them very much at the end of the day. At this question that you guys should be asking here is, some people think that this is fine, right? We care about GME But there are three camps of people that actually are in play here. People who, let's say that there's three groups of apes here. Venn diagrams, right? There are people who like GME only, right? The people who actually only care about GME in this particular situation. We have people who care about, I'm going to call it Occupy Wall Street too. So this is people who want to make a statement, right? That this is enough. We are exposing the lies, exposing the manipulation. And then we have people who are just in it for the money. This is the most important piece, right? Is that a lot of people, everybody basically likes money. So this is a big piece of the pie. A lot of retail investors are here to get money. But if you only care about money and not any of these other two, then you're a paper hand, essentially, right? There's a small portion of these people who only will take profits on the squeeze, but a good portion of these are paper hands. So that's why we need to get scissors in the chat for them. Can I draw some scissors? That's not bad. Scissors in the chat for these paper hands here. Now the other side are people who just want a statement. They don't care about whether or not it's GME or AMC that gets this statement done. However, in that case, then this is bad news for these guys and these guys too. Because the people that want GME to succeed and want them to take profits on the way up on the squeeze, these are the only ones that are gaining anything out of this news. These two groups down here, this group not caring if it's GME or any other stock, right? They like the stock, but just because it stands for something. And these people, they like the stock too, but just because they can make a certain amount of money. So currently this news only benefits this group of people up here. Finally, so that's a consideration to make sure that you understand. Finally, you might actually realize that this, I mentioned in the beginning, had a major reversal pretty quickly. So let's look at this again. We had a reversal of essentially exactly back to where it was before, right afterward. And this is not looking like a double top. This doesn't have the mannerisms of any kind of pattern we've seen before. This is likely a miscalculation, a massive flash sale where people can jump in on the discount because the people that actually understand the value of GameStop after this news, these are the people that continue to buy back in. So this returns back with to AMC actually. As you guys thought, likely none of you are here to look at AMC, but AMC also saw a resurgence. We just had to see it on a larger scale, right? AMC was trending at around this $10 mark for a couple of days, and then it had that dip. Oh, you guys can't see that. One sec. AMC was trading at the $10 mark for a couple of days, basically just having the lowest IV possible, just no volatility, no volume whatsoever, and then all of a sudden, that telltale dip down into an overcorrection and then back to where it normally was trading at $10. AMC is now over $10 again. Does this seem familiar? This is the point at which Adam Aron came on CNBC and said that there was going to be 500 million shares to putting out. And these 500 million shares, again, is just the option. So AMC is now in this story. It's just the option for them to be able to issue 500 million shares. So this is essentially the exact same situation. Everyone who is looking at AMC and saying, oh, it's dead in the water, it is essentially looking at the story of, do you understand dilution at all? Do you understand the concept behind it? And do you understand that it was just the option? And now that Adam Aron has actually gone on Fox News today and said that he does not plan on exercising this dilution anytime soon, the story is starting to change. Also, AMC has had a major weekend after Godzilla versus Kong. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, don't you want to know who wins? Godzilla or Kong? Don't you? Godzilla girls, drop some comments down below, and Kong cooks, you guys can tell me what you think of the movie as well. But the main point is here. We have a large population of people that are novice investors. And they right now are going to follow the crowd. When it comes to these dilution questions, we are wondering if we can trust these people to stay level-minded. Because as of right now, for GME and AMC, both of these stories follow the exact same pattern, the exact same timeline, just AMC is a little more lagged because the CEO had to come back in and tell that story again. So he had to make it clear, right? I am not planning on using this, I just like the option to do it. And that, again, is scaring novice investors, where normal, so there are two other kinds of people down here. We have apes, and I'm assuming the proportions are correct, that these are apes of people who are buying and holding, and they're not going to stop at any cause, even if the information is good or bad. And then we have experienced investors here. who are currently on the same team as apes, seeing the dip, seeing that it was caused by a lot of panic selling and not actually anything of substance, and both of these guys are hodling. Or maybe buying the dip. Right? If there is going to be some actual cause for concern, the novice investors will know, and it will trickle down to every single one of these, but it's not going to see a reversal, which was what we saw earlier with both AMC, which had a delayed reaction, and GME, which is just a little bit tighter on the timeline. What AMC took a couple of days to go through, a GME went through in a couple of hours. So again, these are the questions that you have to lay out right here. I have a couple of thoughts of my own, but this is the end of this video for you guys to be able to fully understand what is the difference between the option to dilute, to issue more shares, and to sell more shares, and how the current players in the game are taking information in different ways, right? I hope this video was of some help to you. I hope that you got a little enlightened and now understand where in those Venn diagrams and those boxes that I draw you actually belong. If this video helped you out, you can help me out with completely free 1-second action of clicking that like button and clicking that subscribe button so that we can jump over to 70 to 100,000 subscribers along with you. I'm hoping to be able to do more of these whiteboarding sessions to be able to fully explain the stakes and the psychology behind the stock market. And this is where you can start your financial journey with me, Andrew, Mo Money, and Professor Meatball sleeping over there. Again, if you guys want to support the show, get your 2 free stocks down below with the Webull link, or get $250 of free Bitcoin by using one of my favorite cryptocurrency brokers that also allows you to have 8.6% as a savings account. That's pretty awesome in my opinion. For now, but not for forever, look at these people. I'm going to update this list today, so if you guys have not yet pressed that join button or press the Patreon link down below, it's a good way to be able to join these guys on this end screen for every single one of these videos, and I will see you in the money.